We're in the council chambers in Hilo, and the time is 1:32. Please turn off all your cell phones, pagers, and other mobile communication devices, or at least put them on the silent mode. I'm now calling this meeting to order. We're going to be taking statements from the public, but I want to provide some instructions and information first, and I also want to talk to the council before we get going. So let me start with my instructions. First of all, I'd like to apologize to many people who were not able to testify the last time we had GMO bill up on this in front of the committee. The fact is that many of you waited all day and had to leave and were not able to return on the next day that we scheduled. Therefore, I've reduced the amount of time to testify to only 2 minutes for everything on the agenda as a total issue. 2 minutes maximum per person to allow more people to testify. And I ask for your forgiveness for reducing the testifying time because it's normally 3 minutes, but it is up to the discretion of the chairperson. I really felt badly about people not being able to testify after they sat here all day. And so I made this change, and I hope you'll just bear with me. Logistics, public restrooms in here in Hilo, go out this door, turn to your right, at the hallway make another right, the restrooms are in that area. When it is your turn to testify, please state your name. If you represent a group of people in the audience, please advise the staff, and I will ask those people to stand while you testify. And you can only stand once. You can't stand up every time somebody testifies. Okay, again, you're only going to get 2 minutes to talk about Bill 109, 113, or any other communication on the agenda. So make your time count. At 90 seconds, you're going to hear a bell, which sounds like, that's it, that's the 90-second bell. And then as you complete your 2 minutes, you're going to hear another sound. Sounds like a bell again. Maybe you should do that twice, Nora, for that one. Thank you. All right, please be aware that there is sometimes a time lag between when the speaker makes a statement and when we hear it in our offices, especially sometimes Ocean View or some of the outer offices have a lag time. And if we start having lag times, I will try to adjust for that. I will call 2 testifiers to the testifiers table at a time. Both testifiers shall come forward and sit at the table and wait for their turn to speak. And I request that the other video conferencing sites do the same if it is physically possible to accommodate 2 testifiers at the table. Testifiers will direct their comments to the chairperson only. That's me. Every person in the room at any location will be treated with respect and courtesy. No one is allowed to make negative verbal comments regarding any council member or any other testifier. Make your comments pertinent to the legislation only. That's what we're here to discuss, the legislation. No applause, yelling, cheering, booing, hissing, or signs are allowed at any time inside the council chambers or at any of the other sites. Not near the doors on the outside either. If we start having problems with this, I'm going to deal with it. No obscenity is allowed at any time. Cameras and photographers distract the testifiers, therefore no cameras are allowed to the side or the front of the testifiers table, and no one comes forward of your side of the testifiers table. If we lose a site, for instance, if KAU goes down, we'll take a break, we'll try to get them back up on the air, and if we can't, we will continue here, because all 9 of us are here, well, 8 of us of the 9 are here, and all 9 of us are scheduled to be here. So if we have to shut down another site, we will do that, but we will continue this discussion. The council will be taking breaks at approximately every 90 minutes, and the council members, I'm sure you'll let me know if I run over. I'm going to talk to you about dinner and running late tonight just in case, so we'll be dealing with that. So council members, before we start, we've got fewer people signed up to testify at this point. And so I have hopes that we might get through a lot of the testifiers before we go into the evening hours. But if we do not get to people, I would like to stay late and get as much of this done as we possibly can, and I'd like to hear from other council members, their feelings on staying later than normal. Mr. Kern.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree that we people showed up to testify. We should do what we can do. I actually had a prior engagement for this evening. I will have to leave at 5. So this would be selfish of me, but I would prefer to actually do it finish it if we have to on another day and maybe get into discussion on that day too. I can't really do much about that, but I do want to hear everyone's testimony, and I apologize if you end up having to go late and I'm not able to stay. Thank you.
Ms. Wille?
I regret about Councilmember Kern, but I do feel that many of them have come a long way, and that we should just continue. I would hope to get through it. Ideally, have everyone who's here have the opportunity to testify. And if some of us need to take a break or we can listen to the tape, we do have that opportunity. So I feel strongly that everybody that's here that wants to testify should be able to.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. I'm going to go as long as we can all stand, sit, keep our eyes open or whatever. I'd like to get through the testimony. Mr. Kanuha.
Just a question. If we do get through the testimony, would we still be discussing it?
Depends on what time we get the testimony. Let me just give you an example. Let's say we get through all testimony by 6 o'clock.
Are you going to ask us again?
I would. What do you mean?
Oh, no, sorry. Are you going to, if we do get through by 6 or 7, would you ask us if we wanted to discuss it?
Sure. I don't mind involving the council in a discussion.
I know.
That's not an issue. If we should go to 11 o'clock, I probably won't make it that long, but,
Okay.
I don't think we're really fit to have a discussion at 11 at night.
Yeah.
Although God knows we've done that before.
Thanks.
So, all right. So, anyway, I just want the audience to know what we're going to do. So let me just take a little survey. By the way, Pahoa is not on the air today because they're in transition, moving to a new office or a substitute office. So we've only got Ka'u. Fortune, would you tell me how many people you've got in Ka'u?
I have 3 currently, Brenda.
Okay, thank you. And Kona, how many people do we have to testify in Kona?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. We have a total of 13 testifiers today.
13, thank you. Waimea, how many testifiers?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. We have 5 and 2 on hold.
Okay, that's fine, and I have 40 here right now. 61 right here, right now. Okay, thank you. Can I ask a favor? All right, so we're going to begin, and we'll start with having the clerk. The way I'm going to work this, there's 4 items on the agenda. The only things we're going to do right now is take, public testimony can be on any of the 4 items, up to 2 minutes. But when we get to the deliberation portion, then we're going to only take the first 2 bills and leave the last 2 things until the bills are done. So right now, we're going to do public testimony. And these are statements from the public. And I'm going to call the first testifier, first 2 here in Hilo, and then I'm going to go to Ka'u, Kona, Waimea. If I go out of order sometimes, I apologize. And if I get lost, well, we'll find out what's going on. Okay, my first testifier will be Martha Crouch, Dr. Martha Crouch, PhD in biology. And Ms. Crouch, you'll give first. And the second person will be Merle Hayward. Is that you, Ms. Hayward? Is that you? Okay. Ms. Crouch, you're first.
Thank you. My name is Martha Crouch, I've been involved in genetic engineering since the beginning as a scientist. Can you hear me?
No, hold on. Nora, just a second. We're going to start her time over again. I need you to pull the microphone closer to you. We're not just recording, but I want everyone to be able to hear. So if it feels like it's being intrusive, it's so close, it's okay.
There we go.
All right, thank you. Please start
How's
over.
that? Okay, my name is Martha Crouch. I've been involved in genetic engineering as a scientist since 1980, when it was about the time it was invented for plants. I studied genes in canola and soybeans, and I'm an expert on the environmental impacts of agricultural genetic engineering. I had my own lab at Indiana University for 20 years doing genetic engineering, and became concerned when I saw the direction the industry was going, shut down my lab, and started teaching about the intersections of technology, agriculture, and the environment. I've come to Hawaii several times and studied your amazing plants here and agriculture, but I'm actually just here on vacation today, and happened to be here during the hearing. I support Bill 113, including the exemption for papaya. I've written a one-page summary of my position that you all should have, and please feel free to contact me with questions. I didn't bring enough business cards on my vacation to give to everyone, but I've got some here that I'll give to the clerk. Now is the time to act prohibiting genetically engineered crops and plants in Hawaii County. Until now, there have been mainly two kinds of genetically engineered crops, Roundup Ready and BT. Roundup Ready to spray the herbicide glyphosate over the top of the crop and kill the weeds, and BT to kill specific insects. That is about to change. There are many new crops already waiting regulatory approval, and some are being exempted from regulation because of technical loopholes. Many of these are new herbicide-resistant crops, resistant to more toxic herbicides. USDA is not considering the harms of herbicides in their assessments.
Thank you. Your
Okay.
2 minutes are up. We do have your testimony, so I appreciate that. Ms. Hayward, please identify yourself on the microphone, and then go ahead with your 2 minutes.
My name is Merle Hayward, and I'm speaking in support of Bill 113. Bill 113 offers an opportunity to include all interested parties, but the hardline Bill 109 prohibits nearly every other related industry. That has caused the GMO consortium that has been exempted in previous proposed bills to call upon its allies in the larger agrochemical industry, and they will fall upon us like rain to derail the enactment of any GMO bill, setting the stage for those waiting at the legislature with bills to take home rule away from us. The GMO stormtroopers have arrived on Hawaii Island, most recently seen at the HIEDB Forum. Please work on Bill 113 to strengthen and simplify it. 1, by not exempting any open-air crops such as GMO corn, and adding a 30-month sunset date to that. 2, GMO biofuels grown in food crops and plants must also be prohibited by prohibiting open-air food and feed crops and plants. 3, drop the registration requirement because the current total papaya contamination of our environment will not allow for organic purity. This will also simplify enforcement. The organic code allows for contaminated papaya fruit seeds if the tree is non-GMO. By prohibiting open-air cultivation with an exemption for papaya, growers can get back to work with the peace of mind that their crops will not be contaminated and lost in the way papaya has been. Thank you.
Thank you. Ka'u, please identify the first of your 2 testifiers.
I have here a Mr. Ralph Rowland.
Madam Chair, good morning or afternoon. I would just like to throw my support for your legislation in general and say, however the outcome is derived, I would like to see a moratorium established until really good science will prove without a doubt that my immune system and my allergies and the birds and bees will not be affected by this. And I don't think the science is there, and I think that we have to be cautious in what we're doing to our unique environment here that should be more protected in every regard. So I hope that you will proceed with due diligence and intelligence and make a rational decision. Thank you.
Ka'u, go ahead with your second testifier, and ma'am, speak into the microphone.
Aloha, I'm Joanne O'Donnell, and thank you for... I'm sorry. I'm Joanne O'Donnell, and I'm here again. I'm still testifying against GMO. I hope that we can really find a solution to keep our island free. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kona, please start with your first two testifiers.
First testifier is Claire Loprinzi in support of 109. Go ahead.
Aloha, my name is Claire, and I think you remember me from last time. I'm the traditional midwife, also the kumu at Kekula o Hiunui Kaimalino. You know how I feel about GMO. Not just helping women, help be born, helping women birth their deformed children and the abortions and all of that stuff that's been going on way too long. One was way too much. But also, we have 63 gardens in organic gardens on the island of Hawaii, and we're organic. We're at our school, we're starting a small CSA this year. That's a community-supported agriculture. We have our La'ala Pa'au. We have our all of our ceremonies, makihiki, la honua, they're all revolving around all of our traditional plants. The CSA will be supportive of course, our organic food. All of these school networks, which is through the Kohala Center Hawaii Island School Garden Network, are all going to be affected by GMO. Now, these are our outdoor classrooms. These are an important part where all core subjects are taught. Problem-based learning is happening. SPED kids have a place to shine and rise up as an alakai. So I want you to remember the impact on a deep thing. I'm not so sold on, I just want a bill passed. And I would like to also offer myself, Joe's, our Ohana's support of being on a committee. I didn't see Valerie, if all the council members, but mahalo to every one of you for working on this. I know it's taken a lot of energy, and I really love Valerie's idea, no matter what bills passed, of moving together and making this pono throughout the island so that we can help each other see what we need to see and work together. So I would like to offer our support to be on any committee.
Thank you. Time's
again,
up.
oh, perfect.
Thank you. The next testifier, please.